The town of Pine Knoll Shores puts up black flags and issues a no swimming advisory for all public beaches as unsafe swimming conditions continue to worsen along our coast. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ken Watley.
And I'm Shayla Reeves. Thank you for joining us. The advisory comes after an EMT suffered injuries on a jet ski during a water rescue yesterday.
The National Weather Service issued a beach hazard statement for area beaches all the way from Surf City to Cape Hatteras. A beach hazard means there is a high rip current risk. The statement remains in effect until 8 o'clock tonight.
Right now, WNCT's Brandon Truitt joins us live at Pine Knoll Shores for a closer look at the current conditions. Brandon.
Kid and Shayla, Pine Knoll Shores is one of the only towns in Carteret County that can actually issue a black flag. Not everyone uses them, and it's something so rare. This is only the second time in 10 years that they've actually put these out. I want to show video of that incident Shayla was just referencing, which is of that lifeguard yesterday on this jet ski, and essentially the person they were trying to save fell off the back, and it caused a weight shift and ended up causing that driver, that EMT, to flip off the side, ended up hurting and pulling some muscles in his ankle. There was also an event happening up the beach just a little bit down on Emerald Isle. You'll remember this from Wednesday. This is when a 41-year-old man from Virginia was trying to save this young girl who was screaming for help. When he ran in, he ended up getting sucked out by these rip currents. And so it is those threats and what they've been dealing with here, as long as a warning from the National Weather Service, that has essentially caused the fire department here on Pine Knoll Shores to put out these flags. They are asking everyone to stay out of the water, and I got to tell you, looking live right now, I'm seeing several people in the water right behind us, actually, not necessarily heeding those warnings. When I join you again at your news at 6, we're going to hear from the fire chief here as to why they're doing this and their plea for people to listen. For now, live in Pine Knoll Shores, Brandon Truitt, 9 on your side.
Brandon, thank you. 9 on your side wants to make sure you and your family are safe. We have tips you need to know before your next trip to the beach. If you feel yourself getting caught in a rip current, staying calm is key. Think about what you're doing. Don't swim against the current. It will cause you to tire out more quickly. Instead, swim sideways, parallel to the shore, like you see in this animation. Once out of the current, swim to shore or tread water and call for help.
This year, 12 people have drowned off of North Carolina's coast because of rip currents or rough surf. The Coast Guard says rip currents are the leading cause of drowning in the United States. They make up 80% of all lifeguard rescues. For more information on what you can do to stay safe in a rip current, just go to our website, WNCT.com.
We have an update out of Dare County. A water quality advisory has been lifted. This impacts swimming sites from Hatteras Inlet to Southern Shores. The move comes after testing found bacteria for most of the water met standards issued by the state and EPA. The precautionary advisory is lifted for all coastal waters except where signs are posted. Of course, you can always download the 9 on your side mobile app to stay up to date with the latest headlines and to check your first alert forecast. It's free on the Google Play and Apple app stores.
Last night in Carteret County, a cruise ship in downtown Beaufort started taking on water with more than 70 passengers aboard. This is video of viewers sent in to 9 on your side. Authorities say the Crystal Coast Lady started taking on water around 8 o'clock last night. The boat was close to its mooring station and was towed back to the dock. 78 passengers had to be evacuated. Thankfully, no injuries were reported. Carissa Berg and Nick Lanza were passengers on the boat. They say they were relieved the situation was handled so easily.
Almost like relieving, because you know what kind of, you know what they do in situations like that. You know how they handle it now without that really being like an extreme emergency.
The Coast Guard was able to save the ship and is investigating what made it start to take on water. Pitt County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in locating 3 sex offenders.
WNCT's Kara Gann is live in the studio. Kara, what can you tell us?
Shayla, the state requires local sheriff's offices to do a check twice a year, but here in Pitt County, they do the check 4 times a year. And in their most recent check, 4 offenders were not accounted for at the addresses they provided. One of those men was found just today in Virginia, and here's a look at the 3 other men that are still missing. Richard Jerome Washington, Marcus Earl Carmen, and Jeffrey Spencer Weaver are still unaccounted for. When found, each of these men will receive a Class F felony for failing to notify the sheriff's office of a change of address. When an offender is registered on the list, they have to notify the sheriff's office 3 days after moving into a new location. They also cannot live within 1,000 feet of a school, playground, daycare, or any place children congregate.
It is the responsibility through statute of the Sheriff's Office to make sure that we know, register, and know where every single sex offender is in this county.
If you recognize any of these men, notify your local sheriff's office immediately. To learn more about the sex offender registry and the different restrictions an offender has to follow, tune in tonight at 6 for the full story. Ken, Shayla, back to you.
Kara, thank you. The state is investigating a Rocky Mount nursing facility after a reported sexual assault involving a 92-year-old resident. The alleged assault happened at the Hunter Hills Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Rocky Mount police alerted the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. Investigators are looking into the validity of the claim. The state offers databases where you can find information about adult care facilities, including recent inspection reports.
A new federal lawsuit claims the Ohio State University received multiple warnings alleging students were being sexually abused by a former team doctor. Richard Strauss, who died in 2005, worked at the university for 20 years. The school says more than 100 people, including former athletes and patients at Student Health Services, have now come forward accusing Strauss of abuse. Back here in the east, uptown Greenville is releasing a new study showing population increase in residents. Officials say they expect a 400% increase since they started the study in 2015.
WNCT's Courtney Allen joins us live from uptown with more. Courtney.
Ken, Shayla, residency in uptown Greenville is increasing by the thousands thanks to the new housing developments you can see behind me. We went to the leasing office of University Edge and Dickinson Lofts today, and they say that anybody who meets their requirements is eligible to live in this housing, so it's not necessarily just student housing. We spoke with businesses in the uptown area today about how this influx of people will benefit them. Some businesses say that this new housing on Dickinson Avenue will also create jobs. They say they're going to have to hire more people to accommodate all the new customers they expect this fall. Live in Greenville, Courtney Allen, 9 on your side.
Courtney, thank you. 9 on your side is Living Local in July. We're visiting cities all across the east. Our coverage takes us to Onslow County today.
WNCT's Nicole Newman live at North Topsail Beach for a look at what's coming up after the break. Hey there, Nicole.
Hey guys, I'm taking you to a place where obviously life's a beach. That's coming up after the break.
And also coming up next, the weekend is almost upon us. Will it be wet or dry? We've got all the answers in your First Alert forecast next.